of giving them a kick and a high, for purpose of making them feel like they're angels, that they cannot be touched. But what I can do, I can be able to stop this particular stimulant, which by the way, you know, me, I'm not even going to, I'm not a doctor. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you one thing. I want to read out reports that were actually done. These were reports that were reported by the Standard Media. Mm. We have no doubt that the Standard Media does excellent reporting. This is a report that was done 8 years ago. A story. Consumption of Miraa affects the sexual capability of men and could lead to heart attack, a new study has revealed. The study by lecturers from Mo University, which was commissioned by the government last year, also revealed that the plant affects the mortality of sperms. This emerged when scientists asked to study the effect of the plant released the report in Great Rift Valley Lodge in Naivasha. This is not even my story. This was done 8 years ago. The difference between Miraa and Mogoka, because I know that is the next question that I'm going to be asked.
Yes.
Why Mogoka? Why not Miraa? I will make a decision based on an informed perspective. Every single facility that is there, we did our own. Once I became governor, I wanted to find out what is the issue that is affecting our children. So I set out my education department to sit down with our health department, psychiatrists, reach out to children from areas that majority of people perceive to be troubled. About 11,000 and something girls, 11,000 and something boys as well were interviewed. Now, guess what is another common denominator? Why are you causing problems? What is it that is making you this way? And one of those common denominators is Mogoka and its easy availability.
You know, one of the things, Your Excellency, that is those who've researched this, what they talk about are the many similarities between Miraa and Mogoka. And they argue both ways that one just has enhanced capabilities of the same.
One does not have enhanced. One, I'm telling you, this one, you know, for those of you who love mushrooms.
Which one?
Exactly. Exactly. For those of you who take mushrooms, there are 3 types of mushrooms. There's the mushroom that you will eat and has a high protein content that's going to be good for your body. Then there's mushroom number 2, which will give you a proper kick and a high. Then there's mushroom number 3, which now gives you death.
It sends you to your creator.
Those are all mushrooms. You want to define alcohol. For those who drink, there's the alcohol that is going to give them that feeling of being mellow and happy and all. But then there's also a definition of alcohol that will make you go blind. That is all alcohol. Now, this is not even my doing. I want to give you something else. The plants that are prohibited in Kenya is cannabis, the coca bush, the opium poppy, and one which I have no idea what this is, but this is something called Papaver cetigram. However, there's what is called in the 4th schedule, what are called the precursor elements into this. There are 2 products that are actually available inside Miraa and Mogoka. The only difference is the ones that are there in Mogoka is so high. These are actually substances that were banned by World Health, UN, and they're actually already in Kenyan law. The problem is not the tree.
It's the content.
It is the content of the tree. In the Kenyan context, the argument that this is a cash crop, it could be a cash crop, but the question is, when you now release those components in that cash crop and you're giving them in high doses to young people, and then those young people so happen that your biggest consumers are Mombasa, and you're even admitting that your biggest consumers are Mombasa, the products contained, one of them that is already in Kenyan law is cathene, the other one is cathinone. These are products that I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but everywhere that you go, the studies indicate, in fact, right now, I am aware that there are plans to remove this to do an amendment on the NACADA laws to actually remove these two elements that from
banned substances.
From banned substances, and I'll tell you for obvious reasons, because I'm presuming someone said, you know what, at the rate at which we're moving, someone is going to wake up and say that, look, we're stopping this, and this is not something, I'm repeating again, it is not something that we just woke up and decided on.
What I was saying earlier on was the pharmaceutical drug that is related to what we're referring to, they're called amphetamines.
Methamphetamines, yeah.
Yes, and dextroamphetamines. They usually work on the central nervous system, and people who have attention deficiency are normally offered this particular drug. Now, athletes who want enhanced performance are also prescribed and given these. Now, recreationally, people take amphetamines if they want to be euphoric, or some even think it's an aphrodisiac. Now, why do I mention this? Now, imagine these qualities prescribed, controlled. Now you have a situation where it's a free for all. It's available, and you have no knowledge of what it does. We all say that any drug taken without prescriptions is harmful, isn't it? Here we are again.
Governor, why do you think the consumption is so high in Mombasa?
It's too easily available. Did we have, I'll be lying to myself. I'll be lying to the nation if I actually don't admit the fact that we also need to be able to whip society in place. Are we doing that? Yes. Are we trying to be able to talk to parents, to talk to children? Yes, we are. But when you start denying that you don't have a problem, then that itself is a problem. The reason why Mogoka is so easily available, today if you go to places like Embu and Meru, they don't sell them to their children.
Why is that? Because that was going to be... Sorry, I'm going to go somewhere with this now. Because one would agree that it is available around the country, isn't it? It is available
I'm assuming, I don't know.
It's available. It's available where it's produced.
It's not banned anywhere.
It's not banned anywhere in Kenya. It's available, but we are seeing that there is a problem. According to what you're saying, I mean, even from the statistics and numbers that we're seeing here, there is a major problem with its use and consumption in Mombasa.
True.
So, if we remove Mogoka, and if we're not dealing with what could be one of the root problems, if you remove Mogoka, and if we're going to do simple mathematics, if that can be applied, Mogoka will be replaced by something else in the future.
First of all, the chances of getting another drug that is going to be as cheap as Mogoka, not during my watch.
Okay.
I want to tell you something, and I want to make this very clear, because this is a conversation that people have been talking about, and I see this a lot, these comments in social media. Why are you not tackling the effect of heroin? So help me God. If national government today, constitutionally, tell me this was our role, but we're giving it to you as the governor of Mombasa. So help me God, what I would do. I have no power to be able to get into containers that come in from the port. I have no powers to be able to search people who are getting into our aircrafts and getting into Kenya. I have no powers to be able to put people at international border posts because heroin is not grown locally. But the same zeal and enthusiasm had national government, and I'm actually asking this, and this question should be asked to those people who are meant to actually have the powers and have the capacity to be able to fight heroin. They need to be asked, why can't you fight heroin the same way that Abdul Samad is being able to fight the drugs that he can be able to fight? I'm saying again, if today I'm told the anti-narcotics unit is falling under your domain, do what needs to be done. There'll be a lot of, if what I'm doing now is something that is causing ripples, what I would do next could definitely cause a tsunami. And I'm not going to state what I'm going to do, but this is not the end of bringing sanity and order. Mark my words, I'm going to be called here because I'm going to be touching on other people's nerves as well. I'm going to be touching on other people's businesses as well.
Big ones.
Next thing that I'm going to do is, and this is a problem that is there, these places which are called maeneo will pick those people up. You have two choices. You either go to jail or I'm taking you to rehab. And then after that, those people who now feel that they can be able to expose, anyway, let me not just not divulge too much, but this is going to be a year of sanity and order.
Bigger thing is coming. Governor, on the 15th, just about 12 days ago, you met with the leadership of Embu, led by their governor, Cecily Marire.
Yes.
Where you said you discussed actions to control the sale of Miraa and Mogoka to minors. And you resolved to form a team to develop tough regulations to guide traders on the sale of Mogoka and Miraa, and you remain firm that you will safeguard the children from harm.
Yes.
Did you form the task force?
Yes.
What are the terms of reference for this task force?
The law is already existing. The law already exists. You can't just pick up a boda and decide to transport. The law perceived that the reason why you can't be able to do that is so that you don't take it to the wrong place. You need to be able to get a special permit for you to be able to transport. You need to be able to get a special license for you to be able to sell these items. These guys, I didn't even do it myself. I told them, out of that spirit of goodwill, I'm giving you guys, the county government, termination notice for those people who are selling areas outside schools, outside our mosques, outside our churches, outside our madrasas and Sunday schools. Kindly tell these people not to do this. They went out, issued hundreds of notices. Hundreds of notices. Notices expired. What happens? First day, they see an inspectorate officer, everyone starts getting jittery, we close the shop and do everything else. And now we have videos and pictures where everyone just decided, you know what? The governor came in, spoke in a good word, and by the way, she really, really tried to plead on behalf of her people. I give her credit. I give the governor of Embu credit that she really, really tried. She came over, she talked, she did what needs to be done. She realized that, yes, we have this problem. And, you asked me why. I don't think a Mogoka farmer would give Mogoka to their child to eat. I don't think so.
So did you form the task force?
Yes, we did. We actually came in. It was not something that I had to do, wait and gazette it or anything else. But I got names that she proposed. I got names that the Meru team proposed. I got names from the health department. I got names from the education department. I got names from Serikali Mitaani, which is basically our department that deals with going all the way to village levels. Mapped out these areas, told this team, start going out, issued these notices. People
and
get
yet
greedy.
The ban is in effect.
No, that was before the ban got into effect. I put the ban into place when I realized that people are looking at this matter like it is just one big joke.
They take it lightly.
They're not taking it lightly. They're taking us for a fool.
But Governor, 12 days ago, you meet with the leadership of Embu Meru.
And we did. By the way,
You agree to form a task force. A few days later, even before the task force has even begun doing its work,
That's wrong, Eric.
burn.
Actually, no, that's wrong. Because they started working the next day.
all right,
It's not that they never started working.
have they handed in a report?
Yes, they did do a report. They went out themselves and they gave these notices to all these places that are selling. They did it themselves. I told them, look, I don't want to be the one that seems to be denying your people a right to be able to
So did you
make
have
a
a
living.
follow-up meeting with these leaders?
I'm not going to continuously do follow-up meetings when my people. Again, I'm repeating this word. I will not be the governor that is going to be leading a people who will once be told that Mombasa is a statistical reminder of what happens when leadership does not take action.
But hear me out. You welcome the leaders, including the governor of Embu.
Yes, we did. And by the way, the conversation.
The task force is formed. We are talking about just a period of 12 days ago.
Right.
A task force is formed. A task force, you say, has done its work. It brings back a report. But you don't even have another follow-up conversation with the leaders that you sat down with and agreed.
By the way,
you go ahead and issue a blanket ban.
Let me explain. Let me explain. When we met with the first team that came in was it Embu or Meru, one of them. But when they came in, the team from Meru came with the deputy governor. The governor called me herself, raising these concerns.
This process, you have engagements with the leaders of Meru. Embu.
By the way, I want to state this on the onset. I truly respect the leadership. I appreciate the fact that they actually came over to Mombasa for us to be able to discuss this matter. They are aware. We did pick those people. My sentiments were very, very simple. This is causing a problem. In fact, when I met with the Meru leadership, I actually ended up calling the different stakeholders so they can also understand that this is not an issue that is being prompted by me as an individual, but this is an issue that is society-led. I wanted them to hear the other side. They've always been hearing the side of the farmer and the trader and the cooperatives. I wanted them to hear the other side as well. And the Meru team were there, and they appreciated this. When the team from Embu came in, I called in the heirs member of the county assembly, and every single one of them explained the reason why they made this particular tough stance, that why we intend to be able to come up with tough stances. And she appreciated this. We did a joint press release on this. People were told, yes, traders are now going to be able to start abiding. Everything is going to be, you go and remove people, and hundreds of notices are issued out. I told them, please talk to your kinsmen in your languages. Talk to them in a way that they can be able to understand. Treat the children here the way you treat children anywhere else. The traders disrespected their own leaders. They threw sand on the faces of me and their own leaders back home. I'm their local leader, but their leaders back home. And they looked at this like this was one big joke to them. In fact, one of the traders, you want to know that the effect of what Mogoka has. One of the traders who deals in both Mogoka and Miraa, when they came in, and this is not something that they said that is not minuted, or they said it just to me alone. When we were the team of other stakeholders, they were there, and other leaders as well, they were there. And one of these people comes up and says, even if you increase this figure by about 500,000 from the cess that you put in at about 80,000 shillings, Kwale has already proposed that this figure should go to about 100,000. You want to know that this is not a problem that is a problem that is an Abdul Samad problem. that this is a problem, that it's a society problem, it's a region's problem. Mungaro talked about this. When we started discussing this matter, Mungaro was amongst the people as well who came out strong and actually talked about this. The governor of Taita talked about this. Do you know in Kwale they actually have a law banning this that was done in the previous regime?
Mungaro's era.
No, in Kwale, not Kilifi, in Kwale.
In Kwale, yes.
During the time of the former governor.
Mvuria.
You go to Tana River. You want to see the effect of Mogoka on people. Anxiety problems started kicking in. There was a time roads got washed away and the product was unable to reach in. This is a problem in Lamu as well. And it is a decision that was not just made by me as an individual. I might have been the person who got irked enough to pick up and pull the trigger first. But the net effect of all this is because of what it is that we're seeing. And I'm telling you again, I'm truly appreciating the efforts that were done by the leaders. If there's something that the farmers, the transporters need to be aware of, is their leaders did try. But truth be told, the businessmen, the farmers need to look back at the people who are selling their products back in our homes, back in our areas, and they threw sand on our faces. They're poisoning our young people, our young generation. They refuse, either by design or by default, to be able to say that, you know what, we're going to take this product and sell it to someone. They sell this product to someone who they can clearly see and tell that this person already has a mental problem.
And
You go to social media right now. Go to social media right now. And I truly don't blame, someone was telling me, I have a reason. I have a reason why in my phone, and I've said this before when I was here with you, I don't have social media on my phone. I could walk around with a kabambe, it wouldn't make any difference to me. I don't even have WhatsApp. And I told this to my son. I said, in leadership, you need to be able to be strong enough to hold your emotions and make decisions that are not going to be based on emotions, but based on what results are going to come out. Right? And that is what we are doing. I know. And if you want to know that this is, others called that this is a political risk that you're taking, you're going to die a natural political risk. I would rather face that. But guess what is happening? I talked about it. I did what needed to be done. I'm so blessed. This is not just my doing. I think literally, every single leader in Mombasa, the whole county assembly, collectively, members of parliament, all of them have talked about it, except one who I'm assuming does not necessarily mean that he's supporting. The women rep has confirmed her full support on this matter. We only have one nominated senator who actually says that no, let young people be able to enjoy themselves, who I for her own reasons, and I don't want to be able to engage in a debate with her. It's her democratic right. She can be able to do what she needs to do. She's nominated, so probably that's the reason as to why she's not answerable to an electorate. But at the end of the day, this is a collective decision.
By all leaders.
It's, when I tell you everyone, I mean the whole county assembly, all members of parliament, our senator, our women rep, you name it. I'm telling you, there are only two people. One has not talked about it. I'm assuming he's not talked about it does not mean that he's necessarily supporting the consumption. One has gone out and said, no, I'm supporting the consumption of Mogoka. For her own reasons, I would not want to get involved into that discussion. Then you go to places like Kilifi. All leadership, including the cabinet secretary who hails from Kilifi, Aisha Juma. You go to Kwale, everyone is talking. Go to Taita, where the governor and all the other leaders. Dear Lord, please, we're telling the people who feel that we are hurting their income, we can't all be in this level where we're conniving against you. And we're urging, I've written, by the way, to the chief of, to the head of public service. I've personally written to the head of public service. And I've copied the Minister of Interior, I've copied the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Health, and I've told them the reason as to why, with all the evidence, all the facts and everything else. And I've literally, in the love that I have for my fellow Kenyans, I've said that we're requesting for national government to consider funding those farmers to be able to come up with another alternative crop. And once they do that, I take it upon myself as the governor of Mombasa, and I'm sure we can be able to discuss this matter with other governors in the other areas. If Mogoka is so good, consume it elsewhere. But our blood says Mogoka is bad. Our figures indicate that Mogoka is bad. Our figures and facts and figures, everything out there. This narrative that watu wa pwani ni watu wa kukula unga and everything else, those young people that you're seeing doing all these things, everything is correlated to Mogoka. And if you feel that it is so good, if you feel that it is a super plant, consume it yourself so you can get more better. But please spare us that agony of seeing our children being exposed to these things.
We'll be taking a couple of calls, and we want to open the phone line so we can also get feedback and you hear it. I want to ask on the legal power of your executive order. So this is the governor of one county who issues an executive order against a product, right? And this product has not been termed illegal countrywide. It's a product that you're terming illegal in your jurisdiction. What's the power of this particular order? What if another governor of Elgeyo Marakwet decides, you know what, cigarettes are horrible, and I want to ban cigarettes in my area?
By the way, I mentioned to you, and that's just one of the many ways that we can be able to prove this. However, considering that I have already been warned that I'm going to be taken to court, let me not relay everything out. But I've already told you of the products that are there in this stimulant.
Active ingredients in Mogoka.
These are things that they're not banned by any other except it's Kenyan law. World Health Organization product that has been banned in majority of countries in the world. After coming up with this ban, I'm now getting international universities sending me reports and letters congratulating me that what I'm doing is actually right. I have actually received letters from international researchers sent to my office. People I don't know, but people who are telling me, we are telling you what you're doing is the right thing. I'm repeating this again. Majority of the people who discard this conversation, majority of the people who look at us with a lot of disbelief that we can be able to make such kind of declarations on behalf of our people in the interest of protecting our people are actually not people from Mombasa. Mombasa is so cosmopolitan. Inside Mombasa, I have every tribe, every religion, everyone else. Other than the people who are already addicted and are consuming. And by the way, we just didn't put a ban. I have already announced 18 areas where we're going to do outreaches for purposes of giving people psychiatric help. I've already confirmed the county government of Mombasa is going to spend its own money to pay and admit people who feel after being assessed that they need to be able to get rehabilitation at our own cost. We've already worked out with Mombasa Women Network, Reach Out and MEWA. We're going to be able, we've already purchased enough medicines so that we can be able to treat people. People are going to speak this language out there that, why is everyone else not being affected, but it is only the coastal people that are being affected? The fact remains that we are being affected.
That's the bottom line.